Hi, I'm Marianne from a small town in Austria. A few years ago, I accidentally discovered that I'm adopted, and my dad doesn't know I know. Since then, all I've wanted is to find my real parents. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. I never knew my mom, but I grew up with the most amazing dad. He worked as a carpenter, and even though we never had much money, I had everything I needed. And what I needed most were books. Dad would read to me every night, and I became obsessed. When I joined school and discovered the library, I felt like I'd gone to heaven. And I always preferred my friends from stories over real people. Once in 6th grade, I needed to use the dictionary, so I went to Dad's room and climbed a stool to take it down from the shelf. Just then, the stool under me wobbled, and I went crashing to the floor with some books. As I started picking everything up, I saw something that left me shook. It was a picture of a couple holding a baby, and the woman looked exactly like me. She had to be my mom, and the man next to her was my real dad? I turned the picture over, and all it said was, Vienna 2005. That was my birth year. Were my real parents in Vienna? I snuck the picture into my pocket. Dad had kept it a secret, and I had to know why. I was waiting to confront Dad that evening, but he didn't come home. Hours passed, and he wouldn't even pick up his phone. Just then, there was a loud knock on the door, and it was Dad's friends from work, bringing him on a wheelchair. Oh my God! Dad, what happened? He'd had a terrible fall at work and wasn't allowed to walk for months. And even after he fully recovered, he had a permanent limp now. I put aside all thoughts of confronting him about my real parents. I didn't want to make things harder for him. Once in the 8th grade, I'd gone with Dad to the market when suddenly he got a cramp in his leg and lost his balance. He went crashing straight into a wealthy-looking man who in turn fell onto a food seller's stall, bringing down the whole thing with him. As I helped Dad up, the wealthy man turned to him furiously.
"You blind, ignorant man! Look what you've done! My suit is ruined! Do you know what it costs? More than your house, I'm sure!"
Don't talk to my father like that! He didn't do it intentionally. He has an injured leg.
So why is this cripple going around causing trouble for everyone else? I want the money for my suit!
You may have all the wealth in the world, sir, but you certainly don't have any compassion. My father's ailments is something he can't help. But what's your excuse for your cold, unfeeling, dead heart?
Hey, kid, just shut up and...
But just then, a rich-looking lady stepped forward.
Don't talk like that to the child.
Will this solve your problem? She waved a thick bundle of cash in his face. In 2 seconds, the man's anger was gone. The rich lady even gave money to the stall owner, and she offered to take me and Dad home. We invited her in, and soon after, she said something completely unexpected. I'm so impressed with you, Marianne. And this might sound strange, but would you like to come live with me in Vienna? I would love to send you to a really good school. Vienna? That's where my real parents were from. This was my chance to look for them. She even said she'd hire Dad as a handyman on her estate. I was really eager to go, and within a week, we'd packed up our lives and moved. The lady's estate was 5 times larger than my school, and Dad and I were given a small cottage to live in. And just a few days later, the lady told me I'd be joining her daughter's school. On my first day, as I walked up to the lady's car, a girl suddenly pushed me aside. Ew, maid, where do you think you're going? Go clean something. Where are your manners, Lisa? This is the amazing girl I told you about, and I'd like you two to be friends. Oh, she's your charity case? She looks like her only friends would be cows and baby goats. And what is so distasteful about being friends with such lovely creatures, may I ask? No, you may not ask me anything. Who talks like that, freak? She got in and slammed the door shut. I just stayed silent during the ride, but then suddenly, Lisa made the driver stop. I'm not gonna be seen with you. You can walk the last few blocks. She pushed me out and drove off. What a witch! Just as I was crossing the road, a sports car came speeding and stopped inches away from me. A cute boy stepped out from the back seat and shouted,
"Hey, watch where you're going, loser."
Wow, who were these people? Turns out the jerk was in my class along with Lisa. I could see them all looking me up and down, but I just ignored them. Later at recess, I sat alone reading. The boy took a seat at my table with his friends behind him. I don't think I introduced myself before. I'm Vincent. What's your name? You can call me whatever you like. After all, what's in a name? Huh? What are you saying? Would a rose smell less sweet if it was named garbage? Would a fire not burn us if it was called a flower? Would I be less annoyed by you if my name wasn't Marianne? The answer is no.
Why are you talking like that, weirdo? So, your name's Marianne? That's kind of pretty.
You don't need to remember it. I don't think we'll have much to do with each other. And with that, I just left. Aw, poor Vincent. How does it feel to be rejected by a girl?
Oh, please. I just need a little time with her, and she'll be head over heels in love. I can work my magic on any girl. Well, I'm not so sure about this one. Challenge accepted.
It was no surprise that Vincent and Lisa were best friends, and their gang was the meanest bunch of kids around. I'd see them picking on smaller kids at recess or poking fun at their classmates. They didn't even spare the teachers. So I was horrified when the physics teacher announced that I'd be paired with Vincent for a project. But he looked delighted. I tried ignoring him and was reading the science book to figure out something when suddenly he snatched it from me.
Why are you always staring at a book when you could be looking at more beautiful things? Like me.
I don't have time for your nonsense, Vincent. Give that back.
Okay, but only if you agree to go out with me.
I'd rather jump off a cliff.
Wrong answer.
And with that, he ripped some pages out and threw the book in the trash bin. What is the matter with you? Don't you have any respect for anyone or anything? God, you're such an imbecile.
Why do you use such strange words? An what now?
An imbecile. It means a fool, an idiot, a dummy, a moron. I pushed him away and he went crashing into our half-finished project, but I didn't even care. There was no way I was working with him. A few days later, I was walking back home when suddenly it started to pour heavily. As I dashed through the rain, a car stopped me, and Vincent rolled down the window.
Hey, you're gonna get sick. Get in the car.
I'd rather catch pneumonia.
Oh my God. Just get in. Hate me later.
Reluctantly, I got in, and a minute later we were driving up to his gigantic mansion. He quickly led me to the fireplace in the library, and my mouth was just wide open. I've never seen so many books in one place in my whole life. What a treasure this is.
Well, you're welcome to take some. I don't read them, and my parents are hardly ever here.
I felt a bit sorry for him. That sounded lonely. And suddenly, I remembered something. Oh my God, my parents' picture. I dug through my pockets to find it all wet, and I started flapping it around to dry it.
What's that, and why are you acting crazy?
It's the only picture I have of my real parents. I told him how I'd discovered it and that I carried it around with me, hoping I'd find them somewhere.
I think I could help you with that. My parents know a good private investigator. He could probably track them down.
Do you really mean that? That would be amazing. Thank you so much. As we spent some time talking, I felt myself warming up to Vincent. When he walked me out to go home with his driver, I suddenly turned to him. Vincent, why do you act that way in school?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have everything in the world, and you're wasting every opportunity to learn. And all you do is tease and mock other people. I'm sure your life isn't perfect, but that's not an excuse to be the worst version of yourself most of the time. I thought he'd be really mad, but instead, he took my hand.
I'm sorry you've only seen the worst of me. I'll try to change that.
He kissed me on the cheek before he turned away, and for some reason, I couldn't stop smiling all the way home. As I was walking down to the cottage, Lisa suddenly jumped out from behind a tree.
Is that Vincent's car you just got off from?
Why? It's none of your business, Lisa. Vincent is very much my business.
I know you have a wild imagination, but
don't start dreaming that someone like him could ever like you. I pushed her aside and walked off. She was crazy, as if I wanted someone like Vincent. Or did I? He was just so nice after that day. He'd come sit next to me in the cafeteria, help me carry my stuff, and one time as I was walking back home, he leapt out of a car and decided to walk with me. He told me the investigator was hopeful we'd find my parents really soon. And a few days later, when he asked me to be his date for the Christmas dance at school, I really couldn't refuse. Dad had surprised me one evening with the most beautiful dress, and at the dance, I felt like someone straight out of a fairy tale. I was searching for Vincent in the hall when I felt a gentle tap on my shoulder.
Wow, you look really beautiful, Marianne.
He took my hand and led me to the dance floor, and it felt like we were in our own little world. At the end of the song, he suddenly pulled me closer and leaned in to kiss me. Everyone around us was clapping and cheering as I kissed him back. During the evening, I went to freshen up in the bathroom, and when I returned, I found Vincent in a corner with Lisa and his friends.
Wow, Vincent, you really take a challenge seriously. You said you could make any girl fall for you, and you proved it. That kiss could have fooled even me. Marianne has totally fallen for your Prince Charming act. It's gonna be so much fun when you dump her.
That's what I was? A challenge? Vincent looked shocked as they all turned around to see me behind them.
No, Marianne, wait. It's not what you...
I suddenly slapped him hard. Why did I think you were actually a decent human being? You even pretended to help me find my parents just to convince me that you cared? You're the most vile person I've had the misfortune to meet. I hate you. No, I despise you. I didn't go to school for days. I just didn't want to see anyone's face. But one day, Dad walked into my room holding a package.
A boy from your school dropped this, saying it was important. Forgive me for opening it first, but Marianne, you've known about your parents and you've been looking for them?
Wait, what? Dad, I'm sorry. I just needed to know. He gave me the package as he sat down on my bed, and I looked through the papers with trembling hands. The first was a newspaper clipping saying my parents were politicians who had been sentenced to prison for 25 years for stealing state funds.
I worked at your parents' house. When they were arrested, you were going to be sent to an orphanage, and I just really wanted a kid, so I adopted you, Marianne. I kept the truth from you because I thought it would only make you upset. I'm sorry if I haven't been the best dad.
I jumped forward and hugged him, tears pouring down my face. No, you're the most amazing dad anyone could possibly have. I just wanted to know who they were. But it's not because I've ever been unhappy with you as my father. Not ever. Dad hugged me back.
If you ever want to see them, I'll arrange a visit, okay? It won't bother me at all. I know you're my daughter. By the way, that boy just left if you want to talk to him.
I ran out the door after Vincent, who was walking down to the gate. Why did you do that? Your stupid challenge was over, right? Why did you make an effort to find my parents?
Marianne, it did start off as a stupid challenge, and I wasn't planning on falling for you. But I did, almost instantly. What I feel for you is real and true. I wouldn't have made all that effort if I didn't love you. You're the most special girl I've ever met, and you make me want to be a better person. I'm so sorry for hurting you. Please forgive me, will you?
I looked into his earnest eyes and slowly smiled. I'd rather go down with the Titanic, but I stepped closer and pulled him in for a kiss. Hey, I'm Celine, but my dad calls me Cece. My parents were always super rich. They had it all. Huge mansions, fancy cars, even their own helicopter. Mom really believed in keeping away bad luck, so she did all the crazy, superstitious stuff, like avoiding the number 13 and hating black cats. The day I was born, though, Mom almost dropped me when the nurse handed me to her. What is that? Look at her eyes. She's Satan. Get this devil away from me. Well, yeah, my eyes were a little different than others. One was blue and the other was green. But for some reason, my stupid mom thought it was the devil and meant bad luck. Growing up, Mom never really cared about me. Once, when I was 4, I gave my mom an invitation to the party that our teacher was having to celebrate Mother's Day. And Mom said, "To celebrate what? Giving birth to the devil? My life was way better before you. Your teacher is stupid and doesn't know what it's like to raise an enemy. Yes, you're my enemy. Just get lost." I went crying and Dad hugged me and said he would attend the party himself. And we had a great time. When I was in the 3rd grade, Dad got me a puppy and I was super happy. But the moment Mom saw her, she took her immediately. "This puppy is mine. I need someone to make me feel like a mom since I don't see you as a daughter." She kept the puppy for herself, but a week later, the puppy died. Mom went ballistic and said it was my fault. I got mad and threw my ball at her, but it hit the TV and broke it.
Oh, God, I told you, this girl is trouble for me. She's cursed.
When I was in the 7th grade, she started taking me to shamans to have my curse lifted. I was sick of her nonsense, so I decided to get back at Mom. Before the shaman could start her chants, I climbed on her table and went all Tarzan, screaming something in Latin. Mom got super scared and the shaman ran out of her own freaking house. It was hilarious. But Mom was more convinced than ever that I was evil. She even told my teachers at a parent-teacher meeting, and my classmates' parents told them not to sit with me. I was alone there. When I was in the 10th grade, my parents had set up a new office in LA, so they decided to move there for a couple of years. I was super excited because I wanted a fresh start at school where no one would call me a freak. So the first thing I did was get myself some cool blue contact lenses. LA was so big and lively. I loved it there. On my first day of school, I received a warm welcome and even compliments on my eyes. A couple of days later, I saw the poster for cheerleading auditions and I decided to try my luck. And to my amazement, I got in. The captain of the cheerleading team, Tiffany, was super friendly to me. "I want you on the squad, girl." And just like that, I joined the group of the most popular girls in the school. I couldn't believe it. My life was getting better and better over the weeks. That is, until Tiffany offered to drive me home one day, and I happily said yes. But when we got home, we saw Mom outside, and she looked scary. She started calling out to me nonstop. I turned to Tiffany. "That's our maid, but Mom fired her because she's a thief. She keeps coming here like a crazy person. Ew." "It's okay, Tiffany. You can go now. I'll deal with her." Mwah, mwah. When Tiffany drove off, I walked to Mom. "What now, Mom?"
Did you say to your dad that you liked my new car? You did? That's why it got burned today. You useless, bad luck girl.
"Mom, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Just leave me alone." I left her screaming and walked away. Just then, I bumped straight into a boy who was also running like crazy. He held my hand and said, "Run." So I ran as fast as I could. After a few minutes, I stopped him and I said, "Why are we running?"
"Oh, from my crazy dad. He thinks I brought him bad luck, and he's furious now, and I just ran away. Oh, by the way, I'm your neighbor."
"Oh, that's a lot of things we have in common. A crazy parent and the same neighborhood."
"Oh, yeah, I know your mom. She is... Oh, wow, your eyes. They're so beautiful. I've never met someone with odd eyes before."
And then it hit me. My lens must have fallen out. "Oh, geez. You don't have to be nice. I know I look like a freak."
"What? No, you look unique."
He then came close to me and gently kissed me on the cheek.
"Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. It's our secret."
I felt butterflies in my stomach hearing his words. And from that day on, Sean and I started to hang out in school too. I found out later that Sean was Tiffany's cousin. "Oh, you're hanging with the sexiest cousin I have. Lucky you." I'm also dating this hot college guy, and he's rich. It's not like I'm a gold digger, but I made sure he was rich. Tiffany was such a cool friend, and being with her and the cheerleading squad, I felt on top of the world. We were the queen bees, and I felt invincible. One day, we were in the bathroom fixing our makeup when a girl came in and walked towards a stall. But Tiffany stopped her. "Hey, weirdo, leave the bathroom. We're having a private talk here." But I really need to pee." Didn't you hear what I said? Go away." "Hey, Cece, was I clear enough?" Yes. She said leave. Why are you still here?" Because I need to go to the bathroom." "No, she said leave." I tried to drag her away, but I forgot that I was still holding the eyeliner in my hand, and I accidentally poked her shoulder with it. She pushed me away, and I pushed her back hard, and she fell on the ground. She held her arm and screamed in pain. Tiffany and I freaked out and ran away. The girl later complained about us, and Tiffany and I were called into the principal's office. To make matters worse, Dad was there. He was so disappointed.
"You weren't letting that poor girl go to the bathroom? This isn't how I raised you, Cece. A bully? Who are you?"
His words made me realize what I'd done. I had tears in my eyes, and the way Dad looked at me broke my heart. I didn't mean to. I shouldn't have. Oh, cut it out, Cece. I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. What? Oh my God, you started it, you lying jerk! All of a sudden, Tiffany pounced on me and pulled hard at my hair. She was suspended for a week and then removed from the cheerleading squad. I felt guilty and went to the girl to apologize. Luckily, she forgave me. A few days later, we were invited to the school quarterback Ashton's birthday party, and Sean and I danced like crazy. Feeling sweaty, I went to the bathroom to wash my face, and just as I looked up in the mirror, Tiffany came and shoved my face in the sink. You two-faced witch! I screamed and pushed her away, making her fall on her butt. Are you crazy or what? But when I turned, I noticed she was looking at me like I had a pair of horns on my head. OMG, so this is what they were talking about. You hit it well. While I was suspended, I dug up information on your previous school and talked to some people. Turns out you were quite popular for being bad luck. OMG, my lens, they must have fallen out in the sink. Okay, so here's the deal. Leave Sean and I'll keep your secret. He already knows which, and you have a boyfriend. Why can't a girl have two? He's your cousin. So what? And he knows about the weird eyes, but the rest don't. I talked to your old classmates and they all think you're a freak. It won't be much different here, trust me. I had no choice but to agree. I didn't want things to be like they were at my old school. After that, I quietly left the party. Sean kept calling me on my cell phone, but I didn't pick up. The next couple of weeks were awkward. Sean tried everything to talk to me. He was constantly following me and asking if he'd done anything wrong. I told him to just leave me alone. To convince him that I wasn't into him, I kissed Ashton one day when I knew Sean was watching us. Sean looked defeated. I knew his heart was broken, but so was I. Tiffany was by his side and held his hand with a wicked smirk on her face. I hated her. The very next day, I was sitting in the cafeteria when Tiffany suddenly came and knocked my sandwich out of my hand and then squished it with her foot. I just heard. You were made head of the cheerleading team. I think you should turn down the position. Don't you agree? 'Cause otherwise, you know what happens. OMG! Now she was blackmailing me to leave the squad? That was it. I was done with that bully. I stood up and shoved her away. What will you do if I don't? Tell everyone my secret? Wait, let me help you. And then I climbed onto the cafeteria table. May I have your attention, please? I want to tell something about myself that I've been hiding from all of you. And then I removed my blue lens and threw them at Tiffany. Yup, I've got odd eyes. I'm freaky. Want to come and take a closer look? Go ahead. But the reaction from my schoolmates was not what I expected at all. OMG, I always wanted to see someone with odd eyes. Cece, that's so awesome. It just makes you look 10 times cooler. Everyone complimented my eyes. I was the center of attention, and Tiffany was screaming with anger as she left the cafeteria. But all I could think about was Sean. I searched for him everywhere, and when I found him, I immediately hugged him and started crying. I'm so sorry I hurt you, Sean. I was so stupid and foolish that I let Tiffany blackmail me into driving you away. But it's only because all my life, my mom and other people have made me feel like a freak. Hey, don't cry. It's all right. I told you before, you're not a freak. Cece, you're the most amazing girl I've ever met. And then it happened. I looked up at him and he kissed me. I was back to going around with Sean now, and Tiffany looked crazier than ever. A few days later, we had a soccer match in school. Right at the end of our cheerleading routine, we were in the pyramid position and I was on top when I felt something hit my head. I lost my balance and was about to hit the ground, but the other cheerleaders caught me just in time, and they started screaming. OMG, it was Tiffany! Yeah, I saw her throwing a stone. She's a psycho! I knew Tiffany hated me, but this was next level psycho. Like a raging bull, I charged towards Tiffany and we both fell on the ground. You witch, why can't you just leave me alone? Leave you alone? Oh, I will destroy you, Cece. You became the cheerleading captain and you got Sean? No. Not on my watch. Sweetie, it's already done. The cheerleading squad had called the principal and Tiffany was expelled. When I got home from the game that day, Mom noticed I wasn't wearing my lens, and she flipped out. You've been going around like this? God knows what bad luck is going to come my way now.
Go wear your lens. It makes me sick looking at you like this.
You know what, Mom? Don't look at me. In fact, don't talk to me either. Just pretend I don't even exist. I'm just so sick of your stupid nonsense. All my life, you made me think I'm some kind of freak, but the only abnormal person I know is you.
How dare you?
Mom lifted her hand to slap me, but before she could, Dad caught her hand and pushed her away.
Pack your bags and get out. What? Get out before I call the cops. You've hurt my daughter long enough. I'm not putting up with you anymore. Goodbye and good luck.
Mom kicked and screamed, but Dad just threw her bags out. Then Dad hugged me.
I love you, Cece, and I'm so proud of you.
I love you too, Dad. And since then, our lives have been so much better. Hold me. Hi, I'm Cheryl. Please like and subscribe. I live in a beachfront house in Malibu, California, and both my parents were professional surfers. They started taking me to the sea with them when I was just 1. Mom would hold me close to her on her board and take me over the waves. So by the time I turned 5, I became a surfer too, and I was just loving my seaside life.
Look, Mommy, Daddy, I'm a mermaid now. I'm pretty like a mermaid, right?
Oh, my darling, you're prettier than any mermaid. You're our princess. Yes, they really treated me like one. But little did I know this life would end so soon. Because suddenly one day, Mom and Dad were busy packing all our stuff and said we were leaving. Before I could even really understand anything, I was at my aunt's place with my luggage, and my parents said they had to go away for 6 months. You're too little to travel with us, sweetie, but we'll be back before you know it. So now, I had to stay with my aunt and my cousin Daphne, who was 2 years older than me. I had a lot of fun being there, and 6 months just flew by. But by the end of it, my parents just didn't come. I didn't even hear a word from them. I tried calling, but both of them wouldn't pick up. As the month ended, my aunt suddenly went ballistic.
Where on earth are they? Leaving me to bear with their ugly duckling? They only paid me for 6 months and you've already overstayed your visit. Pack your things tomorrow. I'm sending you to the orphanage.
Oh my God, what? What just happened to my aunt? And I was gonna end up in an orphanage? The next morning, as we were about to leave, Aunt received a big check in the mail from my parents, and she turned to me and hugged me. Now she wasn't letting me go anywhere, but she still moved me from the guest room to the dusty attic. With the money, I was able to get enrolled in the same school as Daphne. Days passed, and even though Aunt kept getting a monthly check, my parents just never returned. And I was so mad at them. How could they just leave me like this? I missed something else too, surfing. I'd talk to Daphne about it every night, but asking my aunt for it would be so foolish of me. Soon it was my 12th birthday. I woke up thinking nobody was gonna wish me a happy birthday. But then Daphne suddenly came in and took me out in a cab, and the place where we stopped nearly took my breath away. A beach? Daphne, are you serious? You know I've been dying to see this. Oh, but I wish I had my surfboard right now. Your wish is granted. Happy birthday, Cheryl. She then opened the car trunk, and there it was, my own surfboard. I hugged her in joy. I ran to the sea, and Daphne was so surprised to see me tackle those big waves like an expert. She even recorded a video of it and posted it on her Instagram, and it was over 1,000 likes by the time we reached home. Daphne asked if she could learn surfing too, and I was more than happy to teach her. We went to the beach every weekend to surf, and I saw her learning so fast. One evening before Christmas, my aunt said they were going shopping, and I could join too. Oh my God, was that for real? But as we reached the mall, my aunt put her hand in front of me and stopped me at the entrance.
Stop here, Missy. Did you think you were coming along? Just stay here with these beggars till we finish shopping.
Oh, now, this is my real aunt. I stood outside sulking when suddenly a small boy ran to me and asked me for a selfie.
With whom?
Me? Very soon, his friends and their parents joined him, and they all surrounded me instantly. Oh my God, Cheryl, right? We're big fans of surfing. We see your videos, and you're so awesome at this. I stood speechless in the crowd, and just then, Daphne came out and ran towards me, but my aunt pulled her back. Are you crazy? See? She's stolen something and got caught. We don't want ties with some thief. Let's go.
People? We don't know this girl. She must be from the slums. Ew. Do whatever you want with her.
But just as Aunt ordered a cab and got in, Daphne slammed the door shut behind her and ran back to me. Aunt was furious and drove off without us both, but we happily walked back together as we ate ice cream, and I told her all about my fans. The next morning, I heard my aunt yelling out my name. Ugh, what now? As I stomped down the stairs, I found a strange woman sitting with my aunt. Then my aunt asked me to sit next to her in the sweetest voice ever. Just then, Daphne walked in with some makeup, and Aunt started putting it all over my face. Wait, stop. Can someone tell me what's going on?
Oh, my curious cutie kitty.
See, here's the journalist from a big magazine. She wants to cover the story of the youngest advanced surfer in town, you. And we're gonna make their front page, darling. Isn't that awesome?
We?
Now I know what's with that crocodile smile. The lady started interviewing me, and I ended up telling her how I learned all my surfing techniques. She then wanted to take a picture of me, which turned out gross with my aunt kissing my cheek. Ew! That night at dinner, she made me sit at the dining table and served me extra lamb chops. But I wasn't buying it. Stop all this! How can you act like this all of a sudden? Weren't you treating me like the dirt in your shoes till yesterday?
I know. I'm so sorry for being so stupid to my own brother's blood. Daphne keeps telling me how well you teach her surfing and you love her like your own sister. So it's my turn to treat you like my own girl. Please, forgive me.
With that, she fell on her knees and cried. I wasn't sure if I could forgive her that soon, but I could try to give her a chance. I went near her and made her stand up. Then we three had a happy dinner for the first time in all these years. As days passed by, she really stood by her words. She gave me a nice room, took me out for shopping and dinners, and started treating me just like Daphne. One evening, I got an email from a famous sports equipment company saying they wanted me to be their brand ambassador and shoot a commercial with me. Daphne and Aunt were so happy when they heard the news. On the day of the shoot, we arrived at the beach and a crew member handed me sunscreen to apply before heading out to the waves. As the cameras started filming, I suddenly felt my skin itch really bad. I tried to ignore it, but it was unbearable, and I lost my balance and fell into the water. As I swam to the surface, I suddenly saw someone riding towards me on a surfboard. It was Daphne. She pulled me up on the board and led us to shore as a team of medics came over and gave me an anti-allergy pill. Wow, something gave you a really bad reaction. Probably that sunscreen. It was a brand I hadn't used before, so that had to be it. Just then, the commercial director turned to Daphne.
I didn't know Cheryl had a sister who could surf. You're not too bad, kid. How about we do a sister act? That would be amazing.
I was happy to share the screen with Daphne, and we had the most amazing time shooting. A few days later, I was invited to compete in an international surfing game, which would be amazing exposure, and the prize money was great. I immediately accepted. As I was heading out on competition day, I heard a loud scream from my aunt's room. I went running to find out she'd fallen down and hurt both her ankles really badly. She needed to see a doctor right away, and Daphne couldn't manage alone. But this is such an important day for you. Please, we don't want you to miss it. Just go. Don't be ridiculous. I'm going to be right here with you. I called the manager and informed him I couldn't make it. Then we took my aunt to the hospital, and thankfully, the doctor said she'd be fine in a few days. That night, I went out to get dinner for us. When I got back, I was about to walk in through the back door when I saw my aunt standing, saying something to Daphne. Wait, what? Wasn't her ankle twisted? Just then I heard my name, and I stopped. You're as good at surfing as Cheryl is now, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting all the fame and earning the money. See, I've been making all the effort. The sunscreen, faking my fall, paying the doctor to lie. But now I want you to do something. Take her out surfing, deeper and deeper, and anything can happen out there. What? I'd actually believed my aunt had changed, but she was more evil than I thought. Just then I looked at Daphne. and she was nodding. Oh my God, seriously? How could she? I so wanted to wait and see what she'd actually do, and then confront her. I pushed the door open and they heard and stopped talking. Oh dear, why are you so late? We were so worried. You know, I was just trying to stand and take a few steps. Daphne was helping me. I just forced a fake smile. Those witches didn't know I was onto them. The next morning as I woke up, I was waiting for Daphne to call me to the beach. Hours passed and she really did. Come on, bud, let's go surfing. I might have a big surprise. Ah, you chameleon. I know your deadly surprise. I took my surfing board and walked with her down to the beach. And then I lost it. You think I'm really gonna follow you into the sea when I know why you brought me here, you evil psycho? What? I don't understand. Why are you saying that? Stop acting. I heard you and your mom conspiring against me last night. I trusted you guys, especially you. I always thought of you as my sister, more than just a friend, but you traitor! Oh, you heard everything? Listen, you have no idea how angry I am at my mom for doing this to you, but I was just pretending to play along with her plans. But if you want to know why I brought you here, just turn around. I turned around and she was there. My mom! OMG! I dropped my surfboard and ran to her. She was looking all skinny and weak. Mom, where were you all these years? Why didn't you come for me? Where's Dad? And why are you like this? Darling, I know you have a million questions, and I'll answer them all. I'm really sorry for all that you faced. I had no idea your aunt was a witch. Then she explained everything. My parents had been in a shipwreck, and Dad was never found. But Mom had been stuck on an isolated island all these years. And since everyone thought they were dead, the lawyer had been sending Aunt the checks according to their will. Mom never told you about your parents' accident, but I knew. So when I read in the news recently that a woman had been rescued from an island after many years, I really hoped it was your mom. I tracked her down and told her everything. Tears rolled down my cheeks when I heard it all. I hugged them both tight, and then we went straight back home to my aunt. The minute she saw me and Mom, she froze in shock. You? Oh my, you're alive? This is a miracle. Cheryl, honey, isn't it just... Mom stepped forward and slapped her. Don't even try to put on an act for me. You've been eating the money meant for our daughter all these years, and you want to harm her? I will make sure you pay back every penny, and you will never come near my child or Daphne ever again. No, wait, Daphne, my love, you wouldn't leave me? Yes, I will. You're a greedy monster, and you don't know how to love anyone. You don't even deserve to be called Mom. And with that, the three of us left.
Hi, I'm Milo. Please, like and subscribe, because my story animated will give $1,000 to one lucky person in the coming 7 days. When I was 4 years old, all I wanted was a huge family. Dad, why don't I have a mom? All my friends have moms, brothers, sisters? How dare you say that to me? Am I not enough for you? Just go away! My dad was always like this, angry and irritated. He never got along with anyone. And he got fired from every single job he took. We were so poor that he pushed me to school in a stolen shopping cart. No way we could afford a car. When I was in the 10th grade, Dad came home with a crazy surprise. A baby sister from one of his girlfriends. I was over the moon. He didn't even bother naming her. So I did it. I'll call you Annie. Isn't it a cute name, Dad? He didn't care. He was too worried about how we were gonna have enough money to raise a baby. Since he couldn't hold a job, he had to borrow money from a local billionaire. Only problem? My dad took the money and ran. He just left me and Annie alone. The billionaire was furious when I told him we couldn't pay him back. I gave him thousands of dollars. I'll have to call the police, and you two will be sent to foster homes. No way! They'll separate me from my sister. Please don't call the police. I can pay you back. I can work for you. You're only a stupid boy. What will you do? I'll clean the pool, do the dishes, mow the lawn. You can slowly take your money out of my paychecks. Please, just give me a chance. It actually worked. The billionaire let me work for him in exchange for a small salary and a place to live in his pool house. This pool house was way bigger than any apartment I'd ever lived in, so I was thrilled. I went to school every morning with Annie strapped to my chest and worked at the mansion all evening. Everything was going well until one night, when I was just about to sleep, someone started screaming outside. "Papa, I'm scared." "Stay here, sweetheart. I've got this." I ran out to see a strange, beautiful girl jumping into the pool.
Woohoo! Cannonball!
Intruder! Intruder! Someone's breaking in!
Wow, you're cute. Wanna jump in?
I pulled the pool cover over her head to trap her.
Ah! What are you doing?
I'm keeping you here while I call the cops.
Stop it! I'm Zoe. This is my house.
Liar! I've never seen you here.
That's because I just moved back in with my dad, you idiot. I lived with my mom before. Now get me out of here before I get you fired.
She crawled out of the pool angrily and showed me pictures of her phone with the billionaire.
Believe me now, pool boy?
My name's Milo.
I don't need to know your name if you don't work here anymore.
I'm sorry, I just never seen you before. Please don't tell your dad about this. I need this job. I'll do anything. She got so close that I thought she was gonna kiss me, but she said,
Anything?
Sure. What do you want? Apparently a lot. Zoe was wild. She partied a lot and stayed out late every day. I had to help her sneak back in each time. One time, she had a huge fight with her dad and ran away to spend the night with her mom. I had to lie in her bed and pretend to be her. So embarrassing. I did all of it for my sister, but as she got older, her needs started changing. "Baba, when can I go to school like you? I want to play with the other kids." That made my heart sink. I didn't have enough money to pay for school, but I wanted to give my sister the whole world. I decided to ask the billionaire for a loan, and he said he'd think about it. But little did I know that Zoe was gonna wreck everything. It was a night like any other. She was sneaking back into the mansion at 3 a.m., and I was pushing her through the window when suddenly she fell right on top of their super expensive television. The screen shattered to pieces. Thankfully, Zoe wasn't hurt, but her dad was really mad. "Who did this? Who?"
Milo was cleaning and he slipped.
I could barely protest before the billionaire lost it.
Do you have any idea how much this costs? There's no way I'm giving you a loan now.
What? Wait, what loan?
"Please, sir, that money is for my sister. She can't go to school without it."
No way. Figure it out yourself.
I was so mad. I just stormed out of there and locked myself in the pool house. Minutes later, there was a knock on the door. It was Zoe. "What are you doing here? Won't you be satisfied till you ruined my whole life?"
I didn't know about your sister or all these problems.
"Why should I tell you? You're just some rich girl who decided to make my life miserable. Please, just leave me alone." I slammed the door shut and stormed back in. If she wanted to have me fired, so be it. I avoided her completely. I just went to school and did my work like I used to. I applied for a few extra jobs to do over the weekend. I had to send Annie to school, somehow. It all changed when Zoe showed up at the pool house one night.
Please, don't shut the door. I'm sorry I acted like such a jerk. I brought you something.
She handed me a whole stack of money.
It's my pocket money. Dad tries to buy my love with cash. That should be enough for your sister's school.
I was numb with shock. I can't keep this.
You better, pool boy. I saved up all month for you.
No, take it back.
You can't make me.
She just turned and ran.
Use the money. Thank me later.
This girl was crazy. With her help, I was able to afford a decent preschool for Annie. I didn't have to get a second job, so I had free time to study. I even tried out for the school swim team, and I was so shocked to see I was the fastest kid there. I got in right away. Things at home were the easiest they've ever been. Zoe didn't ask me to help her when she was sneaking in anymore. She even babysat Annie while I was busy. One time, I came home to see Annie and Zoe wearing matching dresses. Zoe had shopped for her. I don't get it. Why are you being so nice to us?
I'm making up for being a jerk.
You don't need to spend so much money. You're already forgiven.
Hey, I like Annie. She's super cute and funny. I'm not just doing it for you.
Still, I have to give you something in return.
Okay then, go out on a date with me.
What?
You're sweet, caring, and kind of adorable. I like you. What do you think of me?
I was shocked. How could an heiress want to date someone like me? Before I could say a word, I heard a shout behind us.
What did you just say, Zoe?
It was her dad.
Did you just tell the pool boy you like him?
His name is Milo.
Who cares? You're not dating some poor beggar.
Wait,
Is this why you've been asking me for extra pocket money? Have you been spending it on these two?
he turned purple with rage. and marched into the pool house. He started throwing all my things around.
Where's all the cash? Where did you hide it? Give it back to me!
Stop it! I grabbed him and tried to pull him back, and he shoved me away.
Your sister is wearing a new dress. Did you get Zoe to buy that for you? You pathetic thief!
He stormed towards my sister, and I lost it. I tackled him and threw him into the pool.
How dare you charge at my sister? I'm gonna kick your butt!
Just then, Annie started crying loudly, and in an instant, all my anger suddenly melted away. I grabbed her and marched into my house to pack all my things. I couldn't live with this monster anymore. I'm quitting.
Don't you dare quit! You still owe me money!
Then call the police. I don't care. I'm leaving.
Yeah, clean your own pool.
I took Annie and got the heck out of there. I called up my swimming coach and explained my situation to him. Thankfully, he and his wife let us live with them for a while. I tried to focus on getting a new job, but I couldn't stop thinking about Zoe. I called her many times since that day, but she never picked up. I had no idea how much trouble she was in. Annie missed her all the time, too. I thought I'd never see her again, until the day of a very important swimming match. All the schools were competing, and our biggest donors were coming to watch. I was so focused on the match that I didn't see all the missed calls on my phone from Annie's school. I swam my heart out and won first place. After the award ceremony, I checked my phone and nearly had a stroke. Annie was sick. Her school had gone crazy calling me to take her home. I literally flew out of there and dashed off to her school, ready for the worst. But I found her playing games on the grass. Bubba, look who I called. Zoe was behind her, giving me the cheekiest grin. I couldn't believe it.
Don't worry, Annie's fine. She just ate some bad food.
I threw up on my teacher.
I gave Annie a tight hug, and she gasped.
Bubba, you won gold.
That doesn't matter. How do you feel now?
I feel perfect because Bubba wins. Yay! I knew you're the best.
I turned around to thank Zoe, but saw her leaving. I grabbed her arm and pulled her back. No way you're leaving just like that. We haven't spoken in months. What's going on with you? Zoe revealed how her dad had become super strict since the incident. He never let her go out anymore, and she could only sneak away when he was busy at work. And he was setting her up with some rich boy to marry him. That's crazy. We're just kids.
He thinks I need to be kept under control. I wish I could leave, but he has full custody.
Then you should take him to court again. You need to stand up to him. If you want to be with your mom, fight for it. She knew I was right. She convinced her mom to call their lawyer, but she was scared of moving her stuff out of the house. I decided to help her and went to her mansion together. Her father had a total fit when he saw us. He tried to stop Zoe from packing, but I stood in between them like a wall.
Move, or I will punch you.
Why don't you try, old man? I'll knock you out right now.
I'm calling the police. I have full custody, and Zoe cannot leave without my permission.
Fine, do it. Mom's already talking to her lawyer, and she's gonna fight for me. And she will win after I tell the court everything you put me through. Just back off!
She pushed him away, and we all stormed out. Her father kept screaming behind us, but we didn't care. When I finally got her to her mom's house, Zoe was literally jumping with joy. We could finally live our lives the way we wanted, and Zoe's dad tried to wreck that many times. He kept calling us for days till we had to block him. Then, he filed a police complaint against me, saying I robbed him and kidnapped Zoe. I was in jail for 2 whole days while the police investigated the matter. This was so crazy. They just believed his lies. Until Zoe showed up. She told the cops the whole truth. She wasn't kidnapped. I didn't steal, and her father was a lying jerk. They had no choice but to let me go. I wanted to make a graceful exit, but Annie turned to the billionaire and said,
Ha! Chew on that.
I was screaming from happiness outside. Thank you so much. You saved my butt.
She was so cool, wasn't she, Bubba?
The coolest. Suddenly, Zoe threw her arms around me, and to my shock, she kissed me right on the lips. I was so shocked.
Aw, that was so cute. Kiss again.
Shut up, Annie.
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I was so worried about you. And I'm sorry about this whole mess, and
I leaned in and kissed her. It was a quick peck on the lips, but she turned red.
You kissed me.
I'll do it again. I pulled her to me and gave her another kiss. It was perfect.